Welcome to Talking Science Interviews. Today, we're diving into the world of finding life on other worlds. New research has indicated almost 1,000 atmospheric molecules. Dr. McKemmish is here to explain more.
On Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube for over 550 episodes. This is Talkin' Science.
Dr. McKemmish, thanks for a little bit of your time.
No worries. Thank you for inviting me.
Now, can you tell us what is phosphine?
So phosphine is a molecule that has a phosphorus atom linked with 3 hydrogen atoms. So it's one of the simplest phosphorus-containing molecules out there.
And that key building block was recently found when scientists were poring over the 1978 Pioneer mission data to Venus. Why was that announcement so controversial?
So I think they went back and found the data in 1978. The recent data was they found some spectral lines using microwave spectroscopy, looked in the atmosphere of Venus, and the reason it was so controversial is because phosphine just shouldn't exist in Venus's atmosphere without something weird going on. So it should be destroyed by the sulfuric acid, and we don't actually know how it's produced in the first place. So you might have heard the stories about maybe it's life.
Exactly right. We actually covered it with Dr. Brad on our Talkin' Science podcast. About the possibilities of life, and then the controversies that have followed from that about whether it is or it isn't. As you're saying, it shouldn't exist in Venus.
Yeah. Exactly. And so subsequent to that original discovery, there's been people thinking it might have just been SO2, which is much less controversial. Or maybe there was a problem with the signal processing that was going on with the telescope.
Well, the great thing... Sorry, I'll let you continue.
The original authors, they're still debating that one. I'll leave them to it.
Well, the great thing with these molecules is that we don't have to go out there to find them, these phosphine and other elements. We can analyse spectral data of exoplanets to make these discoveries. So no great big science missions, but studying data. It's a little bit more mundane, but just as exciting.
Well, I think the really important thing is that you can look at planets just so far away that it'd take lifetimes and lifetimes to get there, and we can understand them just today. I would say that we really do want a big telescope up in space, which is kind of expensive, but you know.
But it's a lot cheaper than sending a mission out there and a generational ship, as it were.
Very much cheaper than that.
Well, you brought together an interdisciplinary team to understand how phosphorus behaves. What did you discover?
So my question when I heard about the phosphine is if we want to know whether it's some chemistry we don't know, some geology, some photochemistry, or whether it's indeed biology, you really need to understand what produces the phosphine, and where the phosphine goes, so the sources and the sinks of the molecule. So I got together everyone I knew that might have had an interest in this topic and said, what do you think? And identified that actually there's not that many phosphorus-bearing molecules in the atmosphere of importance, or we don't know a lot about it. So really we just have to look for everything. And we produced the first data for almost 1,000 molecules, very approximate data, but the first infrared spectra for many of these molecules, or the best current infrared spectra.
Well, the discoveries in your research will help follow up studies after phosphine is discovered to hopefully prevent the early hype like what happened to Venus earlier this year, won't it?
Yeah, so it's really about saying, okay, one molecule isn't enough. We need lots of molecules to really understand what's going on and prevent, yes, the headlines that go, we've discovered little green men on Venus. We're like, well, not quite yet. Sorry.
We are almost possibly there. Looking at the exoplanets, it's very exciting research. Dr. McKemmish, thanks for your time on this Talkin' Science interview.
Thank you very much.
Keep up to date with Twitter. Catch new podcasts daily on YouTube. Plus, we're beaming to your favorite podcast app 5 days a week. Just search for Trekzone and subscribe.